Today we're going to talk about rotation predictions. We're going to actually predict where we're starting from and where we're going to end if you're given a specific rotation direction and degrees. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the circle itself. And we know we have a circle with 4 quadrants, and if you plot a point in this quadrant, you're going to have a positive number for the x and a positive number for the y. This one would be a negative for the x and a positive for the y. This one would be a negative for both the x and the y. And the last one would be a positive for the x and a negative for the y. Well, each of these quadrants has a specific name, and we use the numbers, but we use Roman numerals to describe them. This is quadrant 1. Of course, it's the one you've been using the longest because both the x and the y are positive. And then you're going to go counterclockwise. Quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Of course, again, using our Roman numerals. On your graphic organizer, please put the same labeling on your counterclockwise circle because they are exactly the same. The first quadrant is always in that same location as well as all of the others, whether you're going clockwise or counterclockwise around the circle. Now let's look at them separately. So let's look at the clockwise part first. If you're going clockwise and you go 0 degrees, this is where you would start. Then if you go in this direction, which is clockwise, right to here, then you've gone 1 quadrant. And 1 quadrant, if you notice, makes a right angle, and that's 90 degrees. So if you go 1 quadrant around clockwise, you're going to be at 90 degrees. If you continue and go 2 quadrants, you've gone 180 degrees. And if you continue and go 3, you've gone 270 degrees. And then you can even continue and go 4 all the way around to make a complete circle, and that would be 360 degrees. Now let's see how that relates to the counterclockwise circle, because now we're going the other way. And if we go the other way, we're always going to start 0 from our starting point. That's 0 degrees. Now we're going this way. If I go 1 quadrant, I've gone 90 degrees. If I go 2, I've gone 180 degrees. And if I go 3, 270 degrees. And finally, all the way around would be 360 degrees. So let's look at the relationship between these two. 0 degrees and 360 degrees is the same on both, and the 180 degrees is the same on both. But notice 270 and 90 degrees. If you go 207 degrees clockwise, then you have to look at which one is in the same location on the counterclockwise. And this would be in the same location. So 270 degrees clockwise is the same as 90 degrees counterclockwise. Now let's look at the homework. Number 5, coordinate rotations predictions. This is what problem 1 should look like. And you're going to do the labeling of each quadrant first. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. You'll do that to each of your figures. And then you have to give the pre-image and the final image locations. So if you look, this is the image we're starting with. So if I plot 4, -2, I would go this way and then down. So that's why I shaded the 4th quadrant green, because that's where I'm going to begin from. That's where I'm going to start from. And then it says 180 degrees counterclockwise. If I look at my graphic organizer, I know that 180 degrees counterclockwise is 2 quadrants. And it's the same thing for clockwise for that matter. So if I start here and I'm going counterclockwise, that means I'm going to go this way 2 quadrants. So if I go 1, 2, then I'm going to end up in the 2nd quadrant. So I shaded that one red, because that's where I predict my answer should be if I were to solve this problem. Go ahead and do this to the rest of your problems on tonight's homework. And the ones that have multiple letters, for example, 5, 6, 7, and 8, they have multiple letters and they have multiple graphs. You're going to do each point on an individual graph, just like we did A for -2. That's why you have separate graphs.